You're listening to the VegasTours.com podcast, episode number 247, talking about Wayne Newton up close and personal, amongst other Vegas tourist tidbits. Here's Carl. We're back.
Yes, we are.
Don't know what to do about that last comment, but oh well. Who are you?
I'm your wife. I'm Debbie.
You're Debbie. The Debbie.
The bestest Debbie.
On this episode, we're going to talk about the Vegas Golden Knights, PBR Last Cowboy Standing, Wayne Newton up close and personal, and other Vegas tourist tidbits, as I said earlier. Up on the website, thevegastours.com, you're going to see an article about the national parks raising their fees. Only 100 out of 400 national parks actually charge an entrance fee, and they will raise them starting June 1st. So our suggestion is what, sweetheart?
Get the annual pass.
For $80.
Yep, then you can go to any park, every park, all you want, one fee.
One fee. If you're over 65, you can get the senior pass. That's $80 one time, and it's good for forever. If you have a fourth grader, they have kids in the park. So if you have a fourth grader,
your whole family gets in for free.
That's right. Go off and check that out. All right. You're going to start to see some new stuff up on our blog and up on YouTube. Apparently,
new stuff. New stuff?
Well, it's going to be new stuff up there. It's going to be old stuff to us.
And why is this?
Because I haven't posted it in 4 years.
But when did it happen?
4 years? Well, if I haven't posted it in 4 years, it's been 4 years, sweetheart. Math was never your...
I guess math... I guess I need to work on my math.
Yes. I got some videos and some photos that you took of our honeymoon in Florida and some of the other areas that we've been to, and I just have never, it's like, yeah, I'll do that tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And 4 years later, so.
Tomorrow.
Going to kind of semi-title it On the Road, because that's really what it's about from some of the spots that we've visited over the last 4 years. So
cool.
Last night, we went to the Professional Bull Riders Last Cowboy Standing at Thomas and Mack.
It was good to be back home again.
Yes.
However, it was weird being in the seats.
Yes, we were attendees.
Yes. We got to be patrons.
Yes.
And just do nothing but order food and sit and enjoy the show.
And people watch.
Oh my God, people watch. Still my favorite sport.
It was funny because some of those around us were also watching on their smartphones
the hockey game. Yeah, you got a shot at that. That was fun.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, one eye on the Bulls, one eye on hockey. And, but
couldn't make up your mind, so you got the tickets for bull riding were cheaper, so we'll watch hockey on our phone while we're at the bull riding.
Yeah, It was strange not having to go to the media room and
lug 40 pounds of equipment and then really work it. You know, be on your feet the whole time and leave there exhausted and know that you got another couple hours of work left when you left.
Yeah, but then there were those times you went, oh, God, that would have been such a cool shot.
Yes.
Oh, my God, look at that bull snot. Oh, I'm missing that one.
Yeah. When it showed up on the TV screen or when you saw the bull come down on somebody, it's like, oh,
why?
It was that close.
Why?
I'd love to got that shot.
Why?
Yeah.
This year, for the first time since they've done the Last Cowboy Standing, there was no JB Mooney there.
I know. That's sad. It's like anticlimactic because he brought
energy.
He brought a certain excitement.
Yeah.
To it that was missing.
Yeah.
There was nothing that made all the crowd want to get on their feet and just woo.
No, there were a couple of them there, but it wasn't that JB.
They don't have the JB bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Coming on. So there was nothing to look forward to. Jess Lockwood is the big one right now. And
right.
He's an adorable kid, but he just doesn't not yet. I think he could be our next JB Mooney, but he's not JB.
I forgot the rider. I've got it on the photos that I shot. But being digital now, in the age of the digital clocks and everything else like that, like with the couple that was sitting next to us, that it was their first time there.
Yeah, it was their first time ever at a bull riding event.
Well, it's 8 seconds.
Longest 8 seconds and shortest 8 seconds.
Yeah, because like that one rider, they stopped the clock at 7.95 seconds.
Yes.
So he got nothing.
But he challenged
it, and then they looked at it, and they went, no.
They gave him a little more time.
Yeah, you were right. 7.99 seconds.
To find out, you just got charged $500
because you challenged it.
1/10 of a second.
Yeah.
Of getting a ride.
Yep.
It's like, boy, you talk about pour salt in a wound. That
7.99 seconds.
That had to be hard to swallow.
It's like, and you heard the whole audience go, no,
yeah,
just give it to him.
Just give it to him.
7 point, I mean, that's not even a breath.
Now, between that one and the other one where the clock had stopped at 2.5 seconds or something, where they said his hand had touched the bull, and
but it never
they went
did.
back and it never did.
Yeah. So
those were the big highlights.
But it was just nice to just sit.
It was different, to just get to watch the riders that you've met in person.
Yeah.
Cooper Davis, to see him get a good ride. We've stood and talked to him. Hell, I've had his little boy in my lap before. So,
right.
So it's always fun to be on that outside and just see what they do from that different perspective.
Yeah. Yeah, because we're not focused on...
we're not focused on the job.
The ride.
Yeah.
So... But it's cool. The Professional Bull Riders World Finals will return in November at T-Mobile Arena, so...
Oh, I still wish they'd go back to Thomas and Mack. It feels so good.
It's home.
It feels good to be at Thomas and Mack. It really does. The arenas, it's home.
Yes.
Yeah.
But over at T-Mobile was Game 5 of the Vegas Golden Knights against the San Jose Sharks, which of course the Vegas Golden Knights won, which is going to take it to Game 6.
Boom.
Boom. Boom.
Yeah, we can't have a hockey. They can't have a hockey team in the desert.
Well, okay, so they got a hockey team. It's not going to be that good of a hockey team because no,
you can't do hockey in the desert.
Yeah, it's going to take them 5 or 6 years to, at least become a team.
And then the girl that was sitting next to me, they were from Canada, and she says, "Well, they had a bobsled team from Jamaica go to the Olympics." And I'm like, well, there you have it.
The Vegas Golden Knights, for being a inaugural team, have set just all kinds of frickin' records, attendance records. They have sold more merchandise than any other team, and they are the most expensive team as far as tickets, merchandise, and everything else like that. They sold out for season tickets for next year. They've already sold them out. Wow. T-Mobile Arena holds for hockey. It holds 17,500 people. 80% of those seats are for season ticket holders. So 14,000 tickets have all season ticket holders.
That's just a mind blower.
They won 50 plus games, and again, it's an inaugural team. And I mean, it's just so funny because of all the people that just gave me shit. Never happened. It's never going to happen.
We have that hockey fan out there, friend of ours, that
hasn't talked to us
hasn't spoken to us in a while.
That's because her team is also in the playoffs.
So I think she's wanting to keep our friendship or protect our friendship by just not talking.
Vegas Golden Knights versus the San Jose Sharks. When they play here, the Vegas average ticket price in Vegas for the playoff game was $328. When they played in San Jose, the average ticket price in San Jose was $153.
Wow. Yeah,
I like it. The one Vegas forum group that I'm on, is everyone? Is there any place we can get a cheap ticket?
I guess you're not gonna find tickets to the hockey game on that free tickets side,
No,
are you?
no.
To seat fillers? Seat fillers? You're not going to have to worry about filling the seats?
No, that or half price tickets.
Yeah.
None of them. Nah. Yeah.
Ooh. Even the scalpers are going to be out there begging.
One of the things that I did this past week is I went down to the Venetian.
Oh, because that's new.
To see the oldest gondola.
Aw.
They found it where else? Lonnie Hammergren's house.
Of course they did. Of course they did. Why does that not surprise me?
Yeah. It's so funny because they got it and they got the little video where they're talking about how wonderful it is and all that. And to realize we found it right here in Las Vegas. It's like, well, no shit. It's Lonnie Hammergren's house. You can find pyramids in there.
We walked through there and
You probably got photos of it.
It's a possibility, but I didn't even notice it because there was so many piles of stuff.
You do have photos because it was in that basement garage.
It was in the basement garage. There's a good chance I do.
Yeah, but but it's like you said, it had all that other crap around it.
There was so much stuff there. Oh.
But it is neat. It's on display at the shops there. So, yeah.
I wonder the stories that thing could tell you.
Sitting in Lonnie's garage, you could tell a lot of stories.
Where did it come from there?
Yeah. So then I said, hey, sweetheart, we have tickets to go see Wayne Newton up close and personal at Balleys.
Yes, you did.
And you went, uh-huh.
Yeah, on a Tuesday night. I wasn't feeling well.
We're going to go see Wayne Newton. Yeah. Unbeknownst to us, a very good friend of mine who works there booted us up.
Yeah, within and we were just going to be amongst the general population. And within seconds, because I wasn't feeling very well, I had sat down and was talking to another lady who we were sitting down instead of standing in line, resting, waiting. And I look over and get called, and we just got rushed to the VIP line. We're up front, first in line.
And, of course, you don't have your camera.
I don't have my camera because I'm thinking it was a Tuesday night. Wasn't prepared. Got off work. Let's just do this because hubby wants to do this. We're front row, first table. He kissed me on my cheek. It was so sweet.
He kissed you on your cheek.
And he talked to me. But
first of all,
it was so intimate.
Yes, yes. It's at the Windows showroom, which is up on the second floor, which is where we saw 50 Shades the parody.
Yes.
But yeah, it holds, what do you say, 400, 200?
400,
yeah.
420, I think, or something like that. But
and
what I enjoyed about that is they treated it like back in the old days when they had the lounge acts, and they paired people up into groups at the table in the line. So you got to meet the people, and they told you, get to know each other, and they'd ask you questions. And you met the people you were going to be sitting with.
And who did we meet?
Oh, my goodness. We had two women who sat with us. We had a lawyer that was in town and she was a small woman, maybe 120 pounds. She did employment law.
Yeah.
Sounds like the most boring job ever. Simple person with probably a very big brain. And then there was a woman, and then there was the other woman who was with us, who was from way upstate New York.
Yes.
And so we have, what I enjoyed was the fact that we gotten to meet them outside, and we all talked. So we knew who each other was. We knew a little about each other before they placed us together at the table. So I think that's really cool that they used to do that in Vegas, and they don't do that anymore. And
Wayne not only plays and sings, he's got, what was it, a 3-piece band? Yeah.
Yeah, 3-piece band.
But the brunt of it is questions from the audience.
Yeah, she stood out in the audience, walking around asking if you had any questions and stuff.
And then stories.
Yeah, but then the funny part is when he told funny stories and he made really funny jokes.
Right.
In a very classical way, because he's an older gentleman now. He looked
He
at me
entertains.
today. He looked at me and he looked at you and he says, "Does that one belong to you?" And I said, "Yes." He goes, "You're married?" And I said, "Yes." And how long? And I 4 years. He goes, "Well, I laugh about marriage, but there's nothing funny about marriage." And everybody just laughs. Well, this little tiny lawyer who's sitting at our table,
A seal.
oh my gosh, she
Wayne.
had the whole room, but him on stage and his wife, who we didn't know who was his wife at the time, it stopped the show. They were laughing
Several times.
several times.
Wayne was like in the middle of a series of jokes, and I mean, he couldn't go through.
He couldn't stay.
He just look at
He'd
us.
have to stop, and he'd put his head down, which just made you laugh harder, which just made her go off harder.
Yes.
Oh, that was hilarious. That was so funny.
As we learned going through his ranch,
Yeah, because we've done the tour.
yeah, Wayne is a very humble man, but the man has met so many people, and and it was one of those where you knew you were going down the right road in life because all of these people were put in front of you that opened doors.
Yeah.
I mean, the legendary
the stories,
people.
The stories he
were
told.
yes.
I could have sit there forever just and listen to his stories. He didn't even have to play or sing.
No.
I could have sit there and just listen to his stories
Oh, yeah.
for hours.
Because he'd also throw up the
He'd
videos,
show up
the photos, and
Of him performing with Glenn Campbell in the 70s
Yeah.
in BBC on his BBC show, and performing with Sammy Davis Jr.
Yeah.
And him as a kid performing. He's the only. This is stuff it never really sunk in, even though we'd went through his whole museum.
right.
That he's been performing in Vegas for over 60 years.
Yeah.
Since he was 15.
1959. What was it? Him and his brother would do a show for 40 minutes.
40 minutes on, 20 minutes off.
40 minutes on.
Yep.
And they do 6 of them.
52 weeks a year.
Yep.
52 weeks a year.
Yep.
What did he say? 6 days a week, 52 weeks a year.
Yep. Because that's how they did it back then.
Yep.
And it wasn't one of those things that they started at noon. It was
No, it was from the time the lounge opened and
nighttime.
until the people started coming in until they stopped coming in.
And
so
then
it'd be like probably till 4 in.
Yeah. And then all of the stars who came through Vegas, he got to meet them and play with them, and I mean, he talks about how they came to see him, and he's like, "But you're Elvis Presley."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you're Jack Benny.
Yeah. I've worked sound engineer back in the day, and I remember hearing what it sounds like when someone can play a guitar versus someone who plays a guitar.
Yeah.
There's a difference between a person who just knows how to pick up the guitar
And play it.
But when you have somebody who this is their life, this is
Well, and he was telling me,
yeah.
because we got to go backstage and meet him afterwards.
Right.
He has 100% perfect pitch hearing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just something that doesn't happen because he doesn't read music, but he plays 13 instruments.
Yeah.
I went through 8 years of playing an instrument, going through school growing up. So I know how difficult that has to be. So to have perfect pitch hearing where you don't need to read music and you can play an instrument as well as he was doing that night, which he played 3 different instruments for us.
Right.
And to do it so well.
Well, yeah.
So well. I mean.
Yeah. He sat in front of us there, and when he played that guitar, he played the guitar.
And
being 70 years old, he did not.
Yeah.
He was not
He didn't
missing anything.
Nope, not a thing. So, in fact, I got to ask him a question when we were back in the back. So I asked him, was there ever an instrument that he wanted to learn how to play that he never got to?
This is interesting because I didn't know what you're about to say.
Yeah, and he told me that I had told him that I played clarinet growing up,
Right.
and saxophone, and he said woodwind instruments are very difficult because, number one, I have asthma. He has asthma. So it's hard to play a woodwind instrument. Number two, they're usually out of tune. Because it's a woodwind instrument, you can't, they're never perfect pitch.
Right.
For number one. But he only learned to play instruments as the need arose.
Yeah.
He didn't play them because he wanted to learn to play them. he found there was a need for him to learn this, so he just learned it.
Okay, but let's back up a second. What did he tell you when he said why he doesn't play a woodwind instrument?
Because of his perfect pitch hearing, his tone.
Right.
And he told me woodwind instruments are usually out of pitch. They're never in tune.
Right, so it would mess him up.
Yeah, it would mess him up. That's what he was telling me. And even
never
the best,
realized that. I never
the best woodwind instrument players, the best ones out there, the instrument itself is never in perfect pitch.
Right.
So for somebody like him who has perfect pitch hearing, he hears that.
Yeah. So
it would drive him crazy.
Yeah. But it was interesting because, like he was saying to you, and that was part of his, that was one of the questions from the audience was, why did you learn 13 instruments? He's like, well, because I had to give my voice a break,
Yeah.
You're playing for 40 minutes, 6 times a night, 6 days a week. Pick up an instrument, you don't have to sing.
Yep.
So just...
Well, and the way he explained it to me is he found that a certain thing needed a banjo. He needed to learn to play the banjo because.
Right.
So he learned to play the banjo. Then he needed to learn to play the trumpet because something came up where he needed to know how to do that. So he just did it. And then the same thing with the violin and the same thing with this. I mean, he started out with guitar and piano, and he just went from there.
So if you're interested in Vegas history, the stories of old Vegas, this is it. Not, also he goes off into the rest of his life, but he focuses in on Vegas.
Yeah, he does tell you, you got to realize he's the only man alive who's seen Vegas, who's performed in Vegas this long.
Yes.
In every major hotel.
Yes.
Since 1959. I mean, way back when.
Yeah.
Before they used to have to sneak him in from the alley. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
He's met all the greats, every single one of them.
Yep.
Performed with that. He told us so many fun stories about Frank Sinatra coming out on stage and toasting him when he bought the Aladdin.
Yeah.
And Dean Martin coming out and carrying Sammy Davis Jr. off stage, you know, and Elvis Presley, and why him and Anne Margaret never got married. Somebody had asked him that.
Yeah.
Just to hear it, talk about these people like it's, Jackie Gleason and
Neighbor. Yeah.
Just talk about all these people like they're just, the guy next door.
Yeah.
The girl down the street.
Although he never mentioned it, this really makes you want to go out and see his ranch.
Yes, and then he did mention something that really kind of touched my heart. Ever since he got married, he's always been home and sat down and had dinner at 6:00 every night with his family.
Yeah.
Every night. So he's still a family man, too, with all that performing, which I just thought was very, very sweet.
Plus, it's cool because he makes fun of himself.
He does.
Always has.
Yeah.
Mr. Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And then they played that video of him in the Stanley Cup.
Yeah. Oh, my God, that commercial. Oh, that was hilarious.
So, yeah, definitely if you, again, like I said when we reviewed the ranch, even if you do not like Wayne Newton, go and see the ranch because you learn so much about him. But this show is him talking about Vegas.
I don't see anybody could not like him. I mean, you may not like his
music. Your mom
music.
didn't like him.
My mom said, she didn't like his music.
And
she's from that era,
right.
But she was the Elvis person. I don't get it. She don't make any sense to me, but my mom's tone deaf. So.
But it's fun to go and hear his version of Vegas history.
Yeah.
That first person, I played with Elvis. We had breakfast and Dean Martin, nice guy. Okay, just good show.
I'd have to say it makes me wish I would have saw him
younger
prior when he was young,
Yeah.
because for 2 days after we saw that show, I looked him up on the internet and I watched some of his old YouTube videos and wanted to know a little bit more about him. Just because meeting him in person and all the stuff he'd said just gave me that interest in wanting to know a little bit more about him.
He's a genuinely nice man.
Who smells really good.
Yes, he does.
He does really. He is definitely not one of those older gentlemen who smells like Old Spice.
No.
He smells really good. I don't know what he wears, but he smells.
That, and I got to say, he's, again, he comes from that era where Vegas, you didn't step out of your house not in a tuxedo.
Yeah, you dressed when you went out.
And when he meets you, he looks you in the eye and says, "How are you?"
Yes.
And it's not like, okay.
He looked at me eye to eye.
Yeah.
I'd say a half dozen to a dozen times through his show.
Yeah.
He really connects with his audience.
And then we hear the,
Oh, God, that laugh. Oh, God, that laugh. I don't know how many times he literally looked down at his feet because he
couldn't go any further.
He couldn't do anything. He was like, oh, my God, I don't know what I'm going to do here. It was hilarious.
Good show.
Yeah.
It's playing for a limited time until he gets tired of doing it.
He wants to retire?
He ain't retiring. Go and see it. Vegas history. This is the last of the big guys from that era. So
yeah, the very last of them, and
and it is an intimate. It's an intimate theater, so there really isn't a bad seat in the house. So.
No, and he walks through and he shakes hands with everybody.
Yep.
He kisses women on the cheeks and a couple of them on the mouth. He's very friendly. They did ask for it, but he just seems so real.
Tickets and other information are on our website, thevegastourist.com. Anything else, sweetheart? Mother's Day is coming up.
Yes, I know, and I still haven't gotten anything from my mom.
Weekend full of grandkids.
Yes.
And then the following weekend we go to...
We're out of town.
We are out of town.
We are going to go look for new
days.
stuff to look at.
That's right.
We're riding a train.
We're riding a train in 2 weeks.
I've never ridden on a real train other than the one in Boulder City.
This is a fun one.
Yeah, so...
You'll enjoy it. So.
One of these days we're going to do something you haven't done so we can do it together and experience it, like whale watching when we went on whale watching. You didn't do that before.
Nope, didn't do that. So good luck figuring out something that we can both
I
do.
found that.
No, I'm not going to skydive. So
I might, if I was a little younger, I might consider skydiving. We might be a little late for us now.
Yeah.
But I'll come up with something.
All right. I'm Mark Anthony. You are?
I'm Debbie Anthony.
You're listening to thevegastours.com podcast. Like this podcast, subscribe, and leave us your comments. Of course, you can always go to thevegastours.com for more information about Vegas and beyond. Till next time, babe. Bye.
Bye. See you later.
Peace
Ciao.
out. Yeah,
Peace
come on.
out.
Come on. You normally do the peace out thing. All right. Thank you.
Well, you can't show that on a podcast. It's not like I can.
Okay.
Rock on, folks.
Rock on, folks.